Dr. Karen Fox, New Feminine Paradigm. I want you to take a few moments today and look over your life from the first moment you remember up through today. What did you see? One continuous lifespan or several mini lifetimes that may or not feel connected? For me, it's the latter, several disconnected lives that have occurred during my life here on Earth. To me, it really doesn't have a flow, just bits and pieces of life that occurred at random intervals. There was the life with my parents, the memories disjointed of them, lipstick, cousins, manicure comb on imaginary owies, and the soaking thereafter. The Metropolitan, whose back seat folded down so you could access the trunk. The colonoscopy bag. The nightmare of Mommy's coffin, overturning and rolling after us as the car drove away. My brother and I sleeping with Daddy because he was heartbroken and couldn't bear to be alone. The spanking from Daddy because I ran away to spy on the neighbors. I was born an adventurer. However, through following life experiences, I didn't leave home for over a year. Then come my first birthday, the 5th birthday, the day my daddy died and went to be with my mommy. The shadows, the soft talks, the neighbors saying she ran as fast as she could, but she didn't make it in time. The relatives crying on the couch. Me bravely guarding my little brother and telling them, I don't cry when my daddy dies. And one of them saying, oh, Karen, don't say that. And then my tears flowed, and they really haven't stopped flowing on the 5th of May from that day on. The nightmare of a house rising in the air like it's spinning in a tornado, a clock ticking, my world turning upside down. Then 13 years of life, living a nightmare of hate, harshness, abuse, not being wanted, and wanting to escape it all. The married years, not even knowing what life and love were about in those days. My babies being born. Being a fair, supporting, constant wife by his side. Being a fair superintendent, a Girl Scout leader, a preschool teacher, a model, and other volunteer work, to having my last child at 38. Then came the PPD, baby weight, exhaustion, driving the older ones to activities, being expected to be fine and happy, and attend every family outing. But the exhaustion was overpowering. I didn't know the person I was married to anymore. He wasn't there to support me. And my soul was dying. The divorce and the great awakening. Tears, heartache, fear, feeling the death of a marriage. And suddenly, finding people in chats who felt just as I did. I had a spiritual awakening. I found I had extra gifts that helped others, and finding out who I was, that I was admired, hated by jealous people. Me, what was there to be jealous of? Discovering I was beautiful, intelligent, worthy, wanted, loved, fought over. Traveling with abandon to faraway places, at least in my eyes. My first solo 6-hour drive. Now that's not really far for some of you, but after a year of being homebound, it was awesome. I found pleasure and fun in doing things on my own, learning how strong I was, learning how strong I could be for my children, taking a full-time job and still caring for my child, finding and losing love over and over. 10 years on my own, making it a dream life where I was happy, fulfilled, and thrilled with what I was doing. There was actual happiness. And then those 10 years passed. And then a new life, a new marriage of happiness, love, great sex, laughter, adventure that slowly led to loneliness. And my partner falling to an alcoholic nightmare that ripped through my life, my home, my finances. And finally, after 3 years of trying to help them find themselves, I had to divorce to save myself, my home, and my finances. And then, being roommates with the ex I just divorced. Another full-time job, exhaustion, pandemic, loss of the job because of the pandemic for 3 months, having COVID, returning to work, and finally getting back to the job to pay all the expenses. I got to leave the job to return to what I love doing and rediscover who I am. And at the same time, monitoring the roommate to see how he's progressing and if there's signs that I need to go get another job. I just let him alone to do his thing, to rediscover himself. It's a job that he has to do. I can't do it for him. I need to find myself. I can only do that for me. The depression has been difficult, as any other relationship and breakup are. And yet, there are other relationships being offered. But I've allowed a year's time to heal and to allow the ex to heal and to see where we are at that point before moving on and letting him move out on his own or staying together and see where it goes. This time, I'm working really hard on myself, trying to get back to that state of goddesshood, of knowing myself, my self-worth, desires, dreams, and moving forward into all that entails. And that's another chapter of what's called my life, being lived in sections or chapters without necessarily knowing or flowing in which direction it will go or if it will feel cohesive from here on out. Apparently, I asked for many challenges when I was assigned this lifetime on Earth. But I'm usually up for that challenge and ready to go. So I ask you, is your life a continuous flow? Or did you sign on for an adventure like I did? Until next time, this is Dr. Karen Fox, New Feminine Paradigm.